Hey, what's going on, audiology nerds? Welcome back to my channel. Okay, it's my third videos about the Otis tutorial video. I'm doing it mainly because the license expires in like 5 days, so I really want to make as many as possible before it expires. Anyway, the coronavirus is still going on, so I hope everyone is staying at home and be safe. Anyway, let's just start it. I remember last time I did SB51, which is self-test for level 4. So today we're going to do level 5 because I really couldn't find level 3. I'll probably just skip it. Okay, level 5 is Julia. As always, we need to type in your name. There you go. Need a bit of time to start the session. So we have Julia. Julia is 26 years old. She probably, what do you mean probably? She probably suffers from a congenital hearing loss. Anyway, let's get started. The first thing you do, click on the hat and ask the patient which ear is the better ear. So now the right ear is the better ear. So you see here. So H means which ear is the better ear. So that's the right ear. Now let's click on the otoscopy. I would say the right ear looks pretty fine. The TM looks shiny, and the ear canal wall looks fine. It's nothing sinister here. And the left ear, I would say it's fine as well. While people may say it's a bit retracted, I don't think so. I think it's pretty normal. Because if you Google retracted TM, you'll see they are really, really, really retracted. So this one is pretty normal, I think. Anyway, oh wait, I'm not sure if you can see that. Yep. Okay. So the right ear is pretty normal, and so is the left ear. It's not retracted. I don't think it's retracted. But anyway, go back to the exam, the test. We've checked the otoscopy. We checked the case history. Has had, it's saying, oh, sorry, 1 sec. It's saying has had hearing problems left side since childhood. Okay. So as mentioned before, she's had congenital hearing impairment. Okay. Yeah, information on subject, don't click on it again. Anyway, the next step is we check the tuning fork. It's gonna be loud. Okay. Wow. Stop. Okay, thank you. So the Weber test is lateralized to the better ear, meaning either the worst ear is sensorineural or normal. That's what Weber test means. So for Rainy test, it's positive to both ear, meaning when it's positive, it means you hear the sound louder through AC than BC. So it's either normal or sensorineural. It's basically it's not conductive. Because if it's conductive, then it'll be negative, meaning you hear the sound louder via BC than AC. Because the AC pathway is somehow blocked. Anyway, okay, let's start. I'll start with the right ear first. We use the headphone and we test the right ear. Normally, I'll start with 40 dB at 1K. Then we just use the Houston-Westlake technique. Every time there is a response, we go up. When I say up, it's graphically here going up. So we are lower the volume of the signal. Okay, when there's no response, we go down, or we just increase the volume. So that was our first ascending at 5 dB. Now this is our second ascending at 5 dB. So we believe that is the threshold at 1K for the right ear. Okay, because that 1K is 5 dB. So I don't think at 2K the threshold is going to be like 40 or 30 because that would be too much. I'll probably start with 20 because it will be fairly similar just to save some time. Okay, so there's no response. We go up 5. Well, we probably should go up 10 anyway. So we go up 5. Okay, that was our first ascending at 15 dB. And we go back to 5. It was nothing. And we go to 10. Nothing. All right, that was our second ascending. So I'll set that as the threshold. I'll probably start with 30 now. Okay. That's a bit weird. No, it's not weird. Okay, that was our first ascending. Go back to -5 and sorry, 0, 5. Oh, no, it's nothing. We'll go to 10. All right, so that was the first ascending for 10 dB. We'll go back to 0, 5. All right, I was our second ascending at 5 dB. Although we did get no response once for at the 5 dB, but 5 dB, 10 dB, I mean, like, what's the difference, right? I'll probably retest 2K. Yeah, okay. That was one response at 10. Probably because I presented it too quickly. Like, I didn't leave enough duration of the signal. So it's probably 10, but 10, 15, right? What's the difference? Now, one thing, you really don't want to be rhythmic in real life because your patient would kind of like guess when you're going to present the next signal. So they don't really hear it, but they can kind of guess it, which is not good. All right, I forget if it's second ascending, but anyway, also why I'm testing 6K. Anyway, they're not gonna fail you because you test the one like extra frequency, and also you need to transfer the result to the paper anyway. So just don't transfer 6K then. All right, and then that was our first ascending at 10 dB. That was our second. Okay, we finished 8K. Now we want to go back to 1K to retest it, just to see if patient knows what is going on, or if he's doing what we want him to do or her to do. No, there's no. Okay, that's one response. I don't know. Yeah, good. So that was still 5 dB. Even if the second time you get 10 dB, it doesn't really matter because 5 dB difference is totally acceptable. Now we're testing 500 hertz. All right, now we've got the first ascending at 10 dB. So we go back to 0 and start from there again. All right, that was our second ascending. So I'm pretty confident that 10 dB should be the threshold because the responses have been very, very consistent, which is really good. Sometimes when the patient has tinnitus, they might think like they're not actually hearing the signal, but the tinnitus. So they think it's now. Oh, by the way, not sure it'll work here, but in real life, like if the patient reports a very severe tinnitus, you can just switch the stimulus type to like pulses, which is I think here it's wobble tone. But anyway, it doesn't matter here. Okay, now we've finished the right ear. We need to test the left ear. Just click on L, the key L, then we switch to left ear. I'll start with 40 again. Okay. So it's nothing. We'll go to 35. That was nothing. We'll go to 40. That was, okay. So that was our first ascending. Now we redo it. All right. We're testing 2K. Okay, that was nothing actually. We go up 5. Sorry, we go down 5. That was our first ascending at 55 dB. All right, our second ascending. Thank God we didn't get 60. Otherwise, I have to test 3K. Sorry, 1.5K. Because there's like 20 dB gap between the adjacent two frequencies. Was that our first ascending or second? I don't remember. Anyway, let's do it. Yep, okay. Now we see, because for the right ear, the threshold is 10. And for the left ear, the threshold is 55. It's more than 40 dB. The IA for the headphone is 40. So we probably going to mask the AC threshold of the left ear anyway. Okay. Because there might be crossover. Or cross hearing, same thing. What's that? Okay. 65 dB once. 65 dB twice. Okay. Now we don't have to retest 1K again because it's the second year we're testing. So we assume that patient knows what we are doing here. Sometimes they don't. Okay, 20 once. And 20 twice. Cool. All right, we have 15 once. And 15 twice. Cool. Okay, now we finished the left ear. During exam or, the standard procedure, now we do BC. But I might just do masking now first. Why? Because in real life, you really don't want to take the headphone off and put the BC conductor on and test BC, and then take BC conductor off and put back the headphone again to do masking. That's just such a hassle. I would just mask now. Just check out the frequencies. Here we've got 35 dB. Now the thing is, if the BC threshold is here at 0, we will have to mask this threshold at 1K. But here it's I'm pretty sure we need to do masking. Yeah, okay, then I'll probably just mask 2K, 4K, and 8K. For 1K, I'll do BC first. Anyway, let's do masking. Because we're testing the left ear, so the masking noise is to the right ear. So now we test 2K first. Now, the masking level should be 10 dB below or louder than the non-test ear's AC threshold, which is 20 dB here. Now you turn on the masking noise. But also don't forget to turn it off when you're switching between the different frequencies. Okay, so we give it a signal. There was nothing. Go down 5. Okay, so 6 dB. Now let's go increase the masker for 10 dB. That is our first 10 dB plateau. Now there is a response, so increase 10 dB again. That was our second 10 dB plateau. Now what you're gonna do, which is very important right now, is pray, please give me another response for the 30 dB plateau. There you go. We got it. Okay, so we have the mask threshold here at 2K at 60 dB. Now you want to turn off the masker. So you switch between different frequencies. So the masker goes back to 10 dB below or above, which it's just a bit confusing here anyway. So I'll set the masker at the level of 15 dB and turn the masking noise on. Don't turn the left ear on because the left ear is the test ear. The masker is presented to the non-test ear. Okay, we'll give it a, there was nothing. There's still nothing. 65 dB, there was something, there was a response. So the first 10 dB plateau. The second 10 dB plateau. Okay, now, by the way, in real life, you don't want to increase the masker, present the signal, increase masker, present the signal. Then next time the patient will be like, oh, the masking noise is increased. There must be something followed. You don't want them to act like find a pattern. So you want to give it a gap between the masker and the testing signal. That was our second, and that was our third. So that's our 30 dB plateau. What did I do? Oh, I have no idea. I think I just click on A, so it just went to BC conductor. But anyway, I'll switch back. I think we anyway, I'm gonna redo it because I forgot where was the we're testing a left ear. I forgot where was the threshold. That was pretty bad. Anyway, let's redo it. I think it was 65, was it? Yeah. Yeah, like I said, just don't be rhythmic. Now you turn off the masker, you go to 8K. So the masker now is at 20 dB. We're turning on. Okay. First 10 dB plateau, 20 dB plateau, and please, yes, there you go. Okay, we save it and turn off the masking noise. Okay, now we're gonna do BC. The BC we're testing because we're not masking. We're testing the right BC because the right ear is the better ear. So we presume that the BC threshold here, the unmasked BC threshold, should come from the right ear. Okay, we test 1K first. I personally, I tend to, or I choose to start at the level of the AC threshold because technically or theoretically, BC threshold should be no worse than the AC threshold. But you know, like 5 dB or 10 dB variables could happen sometimes. As long as it's no more than 10 dB, it's acceptable. Now, I really don't want to have like 0 dB threshold here because otherwise I have to mask the left ear again. Ah, thank God. Nice. Okay. So the AB gap, the airbone gap here is 35 dB, which is smaller than 40 dB, the IA for headphone. So we don't have to mask for the right ear, for the left ear AC. That is great. All right, let's test 2K. That was our first ascending. That was our second ascending. Great. I actually don't know how to erase the threshold I accidentally set there. So I just leave it because we have to do with masking anyway. Unless it's a huge conductive component, which is almost impossible because it's the gap is too great. We'll overwrite that anyway. So, I'm not really worried. Ah, that was just beautiful. Ah, okay. 0 once. And okay, 0 twice. Cool, 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 cool. Okay, now let's test 500 dB. And also we don't test 8K or 6K or 250 hertz for BC thresholds. So we only test 500, 1K, 2K, and 4K. Was that this? I forgot already. I think we've got 0 ones and 5 dB ones. I'll set 0. That means I have to mask anyway. Okay, so we finished the BC masked BC thresholds across all the frequencies. I mean, all the frequencies required. Okay, now we have to do, let's check if there's any airborne gap for the right ear. Nope, so we don't have to mask the right ear. Now we have to do mask the right ear. Sorry, the left ear. Yeah, it's confusing sometimes. So we are testing the left ear. So the masking noise is presented to the right ear, and we tested the left ear. We start with I start with 1K. So the masker should be presented or should start 10 dB below the AC threshold of non-test ear. And one thing very important is we have to re-establish the BC threshold here. Normally what I do is 10-10. So that means the masker should be 10 dB louder than the AC threshold of the non-test ear. And for BC, we re-establish the threshold starting 10 dB louder than the unmasked BC threshold. It's super confusing, but just a couple of exercises and you will get it for sure. Okay, now let's turn on the masker, and because we're testing the left ear, so the masker should be from the right ear. So we re-establish the threshold. That was our first ascending at 20 dB and second ascending at 20 dB. Now we increase the masking noise. For 10 dB, there's nothing. So we have to increase the signal. That was our first 10 dB plateau. That was our second 10 dB plateau. And please, yes, that was our third 10 dB plateau or 30 dB plateau. Anyway, so that was our mask BC threshold for the left ear. Now we turn off the masker. So move on to the next frequency. Same rule, which is the rule I prefer. I call it 10-10. Okay, we turn on the masker. We re-establish the threshold. So our first ascending was at 25 dB. Our second ascending, oh, okay. So our another first ascending is at 30 dB. It's either 25 or 30. I'm pretty sure we need to go down anyway. So we increased the masker for 10 dB. There was nothing, so we increased the signal to 35 dB. First, okay, that was our first 10 dB plateau. Yeah, as I expected, there's no second or 20 dB plateau, so we have to increase the signal again. All right, that was the 30 dB plateau. Now here we've actually got a little 20 dB airborne gap at 2K for the left ear. So there might be a conductive component there, but we'll have to see other frequencies, because if other frequencies have no AB gap, then one frequency, the airborne gap is over 15 dB or 10 dB, we're not really concerned. Okay, we turn off the masking noise. We go to We move on to 4K. Same rule here, 1010. We turn on the masker. We reestablish the threshold. Okay, that was our first ascending. So first ascending at 20. So it's either 20 or 25. But I prefer to start with 25 because, well, all right, I'll just stick to the textbook. Okay, that was our first 10 dB plateau, nothing. We'll have to increase the signal. Nothing. Increase the signal. Nothing. Increase the signal. Yeah, that was first 10 dB plateau. Nothing. We'll have to increase the signal again. First 10 dB, 20 dB plateau, and 30 dB plateau. Okay. Now we've had mask BC threshold at 4K for the left ear. Again, there is a conductive component here. So we do believe it might be a mixed hearing loss because, first of all, it's a hearing loss. And then it's not purely conductive because the BC threshold is not within 20 dB or above 20 dB. So it is a mixed hearing loss. Now we can be fairly sure about that. Before it was only one frequency, now I've got two frequencies here. So presume that at 3K or 6K, the same thing would happen. But anyway, I don't think we're overriding the unmasked left ear BC threshold. But I mean, unmasked BC threshold for the left ear should be theoretically should be same as the unmasked right ear BC threshold because the IA for BC conductor is 0. Okay. Now we move on to 500 hertz. Same thing. We start with 1010. Turn on the mask. Oh, okay. I forgot to turn off the masker. It's not really. They're not really not going to fail you because of that. But remember, we don't want the masking noise to be on all the time. Because the patient is going to feel, annoyed by the white noise. It's not really pleasant experience. Okay, we start. Reestablish the threshold. That was our first ascending at 15. Second ascending at 15. Okay. First 10, 20 dB plateau, and 30 dB plateau. Okay. Then we save it. Okay, now we turn off the masker. We check everything. Have we finished the AC threshold? Yes. Have we finished the AC threshold for the left ear? Yes. Is there a 40 dB or more than 40 dB airborne gap? That one is 5 to 40 is 35. Yes, that's more than 40 with mask. More than 40 with masked. More than 40 with masked. Good. By the way, at 8K hertz, because there's no BC threshold as a reference, we use the AC threshold. So the gap between the two AC thresholds, or if it's over 40, then we still mask. Okay, so for the BC threshold, yes, we've masked because over 15 or 10 dB airborne gap. So we okay, we finished everything. Now we click on finish. How to interpret the audiogram? We really don't want to do it. Describe in simple terms how you would explain the hearing impairment to the test subject. We really don't want to do it. Anyway, let's go to the result. Okay, so that was the result page. You can see the kind of faded lines there, or the correct answers. I think it's pretty nice. We actually did pretty well. Anyway, we'll click on the accuracy and efficiency tab. Well, yeah, of course, the measuring time is too long because I've been explaining everything or every step I've been doing. So let's just ignore that. But the accuracy of hearing threshold and the other threshold transitions, I don't really know what that is. But the more ticks you have, that means the better it is. I would say 8 out of 10. That's enough for you to pass the exam, because you only need a 5 out of 10, right? Okay, so that's pretty good result. That means the steps we've taken are correct. Anyway, that is our exercise for this video. I will put the link of this file down below in the description. It should come with the software, but anyway, if it's not there, then just download the file and import into your Otis. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay safe. Stay away from the coronavirus. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.